every train. Y'all here early. Y'all early. It ain't even 8 o'clock yet.
We started 7.
Y'all on Pacific time? Okay. Indigo, thank you. I'll watch the video later. I'm glad I didn't say goodbye to crack. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. Story time is my favorite time of the school day. It's my favorite personal time. It was my favorite when I was put on airplanes by myself as a child to visit relatives in the South for the summers. My favorite story is the story of the family of the Motivators and Munchkin, a wild-eyed little girl from a land far away. In the family of Motivators lived Auntie More Love, Uncle High Expectations, and Mama Speak Life. They lived on different floors in a beautiful red brick high-rise. Their homes were adorned with books that lined the walls to the ceilings, fresh-cut multicolored flowers, and the sweetest baked goods. Auntie More Love marveled at how observant and vocal Munchkin was, even at the age of 5. She could read books and emotions. She challenged her to share with her the observations Munchkin made of the other children in the program, and even the teachers. They giggled, and then Auntie More Love would ask, what would a little more love do for them? Munchkin would tell Auntie More Love vivid stories of who the unloving people could possibly be with just a little more love. Auntie would affirm Munchkin's visions and would tell her, all things are possible with a little more love. She believed in Munchkin, and it actually led to her helping Munchkin publish her first book at the age of 6. Auntie More Love told Munchkin she was great, and she believed it. The 6 years of half-day Thursday visits to Auntie More Love's apartment came to an end when Munchkin landed in middle school with Uncle High Expectations. He would say to Munchkin, come into my classroom prepared, Dr. Munchkin. There's no time to frolic, you've got learning to do, and here's how we're gonna do it. I taught your mother and your cousins. Matter of fact, I got a grade book around here somewhere with your mama's grades, and y'all, he pulled it out on Munchkin. Munchkin had a teenage mom that eventually battled with addiction over the years. During those years, Munchkin assumed the role of parent to even her siblings. Uncle High Expectations took no shorts though. He acted out of love, all with the understanding of her childlike age but immense adult responsibilities. Those high expectations came with modified bars of excellence when she got stuck. Uncle High Expectations, she relished in the moments of having Munchkin stuck. She struggled and struggled, learned to develop questions that would eventually garner some type of response from Uncle High Expectations. He didn't give in though, but didn't let her quit. Many years went by before Munch met the one who loved her unconditionally, held her to high expectations, and coached her along the way. She was special though, simply because along with the love and high expectations, Mama Speak Life knew Munchkin. She knew her strengths, her challenges, her home life, her dreams, what Munchkin needed to reach them. Mama Speak Life took the time to pour into Munchkin. She's the reason she even made it to college. Just know, Munchkin was deep in the streets by this time. Didn't have college on her aspirations, even though she wanted to be a pediatrician. By the time she got to high school, she was the wifey of a kingpin. She had no intentions of going to college. Shit, she was hood rich. Mama Speak Life wouldn't take that though. She wouldn't take I give up or I don't know for an answer. Mama Speak Life spoke life into Munchkin and didn't feel sorry for any parts of her life journey. She helped her leverage all of her street smarts and the series of unfortunate events to strengthen her and empower her to believe in herself. Munchkin learned when to speak her mind and when to bridle her tongue. Mama Speak Life taught her that she had all she needed to become the woman that she wanted to be. Mama Speak Life told Munchkin she was great and I believed it. Y'all, me and my family of motivators banked life. I entered the profession of teaching as a single mother of 2 baby girls. They were 4 and 1 year of age. My husband at the time had just been hit with the federal armed career criminal statute. He was given 26 years. My first day teaching, my mother called me. She kept calling me. I'm in a classroom with 3rd graders. Y'all know you can't take your eye off of 35 3rd graders. I stepped away to answer the phone, and my mother said, "Your husband's on the front cover of the newspaper. You can't teach nobody kids, girl. They gonna fire you. Pack your shit, I'm on my way." I got this on me. It took one step in the right direction, one step towards doing something different. That one step derives out of the power of choice. Are you going to choose to stay stuck, a victim of the circumstances, the experience, or are you gonna make the conscious decision to do something different? Y'all, I chose. I chose my life, I chose me. You have your eyes upon a walking anomaly. According to research, people like me don't make it to anywhere but prison or a cemetery. I am a phoenix, though, who rose from the ashes. The ashes of the drug epidemic that ripped my home to shreds. The ashes of domestic violence. The ashes of rape. The ashes of unworthiness. The ashes of mass incarceration. The ashes of prison visits and having to leave my father behind bars until next summer. The ashes of "I'll be back for you," to never see my mother for another couple of weeks. The ashes of single motherhood. The ashes of being married to a gay man. The ashes of people not recognizing my genius and speculated that I fucked my way to the top. No. I made the decision to take one step in the right direction. I made the decision that I would not be a victim, but a victor. Choose every day to better yourself. Choose every day to be better than you were yesterday. You are your only competition. No one can take anything from you but notes. Choose every day that you will reflect on who you are and how you show up in the sacred spaces of school classrooms, playgrounds, and hallways. Be the adult that you needed as a child. There's no secret formula to success. And it's never attained for people who climb mountains and always doubt their worth and always feel that their best is not good enough. But for me, success is a constant summit that we attempt to traverse on a daily basis. Seldom do we please ourselves enough. But the drive, the desire, the hunger is what fuels the grind. I shared my family of motivators story with you so you can know what motivators our children need and deserve. They need mama speak life, uncle high expectations, auntie more love. Our children deserve love. They deserve to not only have folks believe in them, but to be taught how to believe in themselves, to have pride in their journey, to face challenges with open arms. You, my beloveds, are the catalyst for the cracking of a seed that brings forth life. Yes, the cliche flipping of the light switch is real. The ingredients of love, high expectations, efficacy, equity, and the knowing of the more knowledgeable others who are indebted to our children creates a stew of greatness. We are not here to merely help our children become college and career ready. They need to be life ready. The only way that happens is if you take a look around the room. If you are whole, healthy, and complete as a village keeper. My loves, you are not here to merely survive. You are meant to thrive. Now ask yourself, do you really believe you deserve to thrive? Thank you. All right, I'll take questions.
Okay, so Mo, you just gave me a credibility book and said that as a young female, it's important for me to have credibility and knowing what that looks like. And you told me yourself you started off young. At what age did you start off and what challenges did you have?
9. First, I gotta shout out my mom, my Umi. Umi is here. So Brandon says that I started at 9. I became a co-parent at 9.
9 and a half.
9 and a half. That's when my only child status ended. And my mother brought my brother home from the hospital on Valentine's Day. And I told her to take him back. I would say that my leadership journey really started at a very young age. And there were adults who saw it in me. So if the kind of packet went on the table and it was like group tasks, I would take it and be like, do this, do this, do this, you do that part, and you just sit there because you don't have anything good to contribute. I was a horrible child. But I had leadership qualities that the adults around me started to see. And so they started giving me opportunities. Either it was be the class leader, or if it was a girls project and it was like, Monique, I want you to lead this. At 9, I'm taking care of my brother, so responsibility was really, really high. Professionally, I fell into teaching. I wanted to be a pediatrician. And I went to Temple University my freshman year. Got a nice little amount of money to go away. And my grandfather died. My mom was battling with addiction at the time. My brothers were back in Baltimore by themselves, and I made the decision to come back home. And by the time I went to Morgan, I had a baby, I got married, I had another baby, and I was a parent on campus. My husband was on campus too, he was a finance major, even though he sold a lot of drugs. And when I graduated, I wanted to write books. I was gonna be a historian. Like, I'm just gonna write books. I can do that and live off this money and just write books, do what I love. Because I couldn't go to medical school because I have 2 babies now. And I fell into Baltimore City teaching residency. They said you can start teaching and earn a full income right away. I started doing that. So I would say that's how I started professionally. As a young woman and establishing credibility, right? Sometimes we feel like we have to work harder than everybody else to prove that we're capable. What I did to really overcome that was being a woman of my word, doing what I said I was gonna do, but then also saying yes. So every opportunity that was provided, I said yes to. And I put myself in rooms, and people used to laugh at me, but I would introduce myself to everybody. How you doing? Nice to meet you, I'm Monique Dubai. Ask about me. They know me in this city, right? Because I did that. So I think just continuing to be a stand-up woman of your word, asking questions and really being honest when you don't know something. And that'll help you establish credibility. Hello, it's me, Queen. I wrote the little girl in me a note. I don't even know where it is. I wrote a note to the little girl. I was an awkward child, and I didn't have a lot of friends, and I used to always cry and say, "Well, I don't have a lot of friends." And my mother and my grandmother would say, "You are special, you're different, and you're not meant to have a lot of friends. When you need them, they'll come." And so now I have family and so many family members, and like I consider y'all are my family. Every school I've ever led, they're my family, and I have thousands of people in my life who I consider family and not friends. So I would tell that little girl that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be awkward. It's okay to be who God designed you to be, and just rock with that, and know that it all will work out. I would also tell her, stop being scared, y'all. It's not to be scared of it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in due time. Thanks for that.
Well, my question is, as a woman, I feel like we find it very hard to fail. There's a lot of fear of failure. And because of that, sometimes we don't take risks as much as we should. So my question to you is, when did you learn that it was okay to fail and that it meant you were where you needed to be?
Got a lot of lessons in failure. So shout out to David, because he always talks about Michael Jordan's movie, what's that thing called, y'all? So y'all know, because he was telling y'all too, right? And talk about how much Michael Jordan had to fail forward. I was never the first pick. So when I interviewed for Baltimore City teaching residency before I graduated from Morgan, I was declined. When I got out of New Leaders, Aspiring Principal, Emerging Leaders program, I was declined for Aspiring Principals program. Went to be an assistant principal for a few years. I got married on May 1st and left my husband July 23rd. Got married in front of 275 people. For me, that was a huge failure. But me not getting picked for Baltimore City teaching residency the first year put me in a room with the people who would journey with me for 15 years in city schools the next time I went back. Me not making it into New Leaders Aspiring Principal program in 2014 made me the assistant principal of an international baccalaureate blue ribbon school, and put me in rooms with politicians whose children went to my school, relationships that I still have to today. Me getting married and divorced within 5 months helped me to become the woman that you see here standing today. The deep pain of failure, I've learned to harness and use it as my fuel for climbing. And it takes deep pain, like deep pain, like the pain where you feel like you're not going to survive, like you can't live anymore. I started to use the failures and look at the failures as God is saying no to this so he can say yes to all of this. And I gotta own something. I'm so uncomfortable right now standing up here, y'all talking to y'all like this. I just want y'all to know. I'm stretching myself. Any other questions?
Good morning, Mo.
Good morning.
So we all just sat in here, we listened to your story, and I can recall several points during your story that I know people personally that probably would have quit. And so I just wanted to know if you could, give me some words about resiliency, because that's like the word that's just like going over and over in my head listening to you talk.
Yeah. So I really do think I'm probably an alien, if that makes sense. I've been in therapy now for a little over a year. I see a psychotherapist once a month. I mean, once a week. Not once a month. If it was once a month, y'all wouldn't like me. Once a week. And we've been trying to process this. The initial moment that she met me, she said I was an emotional stuffer. So there's a plus and a negative to my level of resiliency. And this is something that I warn all of you to like really work on. High achievers, type A personalities, which most people who work with children, love children, usually are, right? We tend to put things to the side because we have things to do. There's no time to deal with that, I have things to do. And what ends up happening is you either harden yourself, your emotions, your spirit, or you become a walking time bomb. Meaning that the moment you are triggered, you blow. I was a combination of both. So the building could be burning down around me, and I still have my smile. Good morning, how you doing? You know, what you need, boy, I got you, right? And my insides were a wreck. But it's a survival instinct. It is a byproduct of trauma. Resiliency. And I feel that I would consistently just keep going. No matter what, just keep going, right? And that appears to be like resiliency, like no matter what, if I'm fell forward and I didn't deal with any of the emotions. And what ended up happening is I broke. I just snapped one day, like I just lost it. Couldn't stop crying, couldn't get myself together, couldn't take out the house, couldn't do nothing. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed. And it made me start to think about what are the things that I have to deal with in the moments of trauma, in the moments of failure, in the moments of things not going the way that I planned. And having intentional self-talk around the fact that, Mo, you're hurt by this. Mo, this is hard, but we can get through it. And talking to others and saying, this is what I need from you in order for me to get through it. So I would say, in summation, about resiliency, it's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to be able to get beyond barriers. But you have to do the work of processing those barriers as you climb over them, because if you don't take the learning from the experience, and you end up with this trail of tragedies and mess that you didn't deal with, but you overcame. Thanks for that, Carl.
I wasn't going to talk because with me and Mo, we have to have a conversation. You know, we got a lot in common.
You do.
I just want to say thank you.
Okay.
All the OG Dudleys know what they I'm talking about. Me and Mo went in the hall, cried together for what, 30 minutes? You're the reason I started going back to therapy. I needed that. I just want to say thank you. Love you.
We want to say thank you too.
Well, we talk about mental health in the Black community, and I'm grateful because I hear a lot of conversations from you all about the fact that like getting therapy and getting a support group or you're in a group to talk to people. Don't let anybody make you feel like you're crazy, or oh, you need that, or oh, what you going to Shepherd Pratt? Don't let anybody play about your mental health. We about to get a little clinical, but post-traumatic slave syndrome is real. There are certain things that are embedded in our DNA as persons of color. Embedded in our DNA. And so there may be experiences that we haven't even experienced but are in our genetic code. So it influences how we respond to certain situations. Trauma can be triggered at any point. Get help. get help. And I don't mean like just your homegirl or your homeboy. I mean like somebody that's trained to help you. Don't be ashamed of therapy. Like you should be advertising like, yeah, I'm in therapy, because if I wasn't, this building burned down, and I'll be the one to do it. Like just for real, get help.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Sissy.
Hi, Brother Nancy.
I got 2 questions.
2 questions.
Yeah.
Take the mic, Joy.
2 questions. First, I just want to say thank you, though. You know, raising me and Tyler. My mommy needed help. You know, you took over, had a household, did everything you could for us. And you had the girls, you still was raising us. You know, 4 kids by yourself. Just thank you for that. That's all I want to say. My 2 questions is, how does it feel to truly be the first out of a family to graduate from college? And 2, what was that motor that kept you going to have more?
Right. So, Cardi B is my Shiro, and in one of her songs, she talks about like being the first person in her family to make 6 figures, right? And I think y'all pretty got a good read of me as a professional. So you know I got a little something going on. Like y'all know what I used to be. I come from a family of brilliant-minded people. But my grandmother was a bookie for the mob. My uncle founded, along with a group of other folks, the Bloods in California. I hung out with my mom, who was 22 at the time, Crenshaw Boulevard, in a swarm of red. But there was always folks took a keen liking to how smart I was and how inquisitive I was and how I asked all the questions in the world. So there was always this high school, what's going on in school, buy her a book, buy her another book. I sit outside while my cousins were selling drugs and read my books. So even though I was in the mix of the hood, they still kind of like put me in a bubble. So when I graduated college, and I was the first person to graduate college, the difficulty in that was that I had nobody to walk me through the FAFSA. I had nobody to tell me about the campus shuffle when I'm gonna have to go from this building to that building, and they gonna tell me no. Then I gotta call my mother, tell my mother to apply for a loan that we all know my mama not getting. To have to go back and apply for the loan myself, it was a mess, right? And this is something that I want you all to tell your children. The skills that they have already, when it comes to figuring out how they gonna feed their little sister and brother with $11 that they got from squeegee and windows on the corner of Fayette, those same skills are the same skills that you apply to when you're in campus bursar's office and they tell you no and you gotta go figure out how the fuck to get your money when you go to school. Teach them to apply those skills. So I was honored to be the first to graduate college. It taught me a lot, but then it also encouraged me to teach others in my family and to encourage others in my family. The second question that you asked me was, what got me going? Indigo. I got pregnant with Indigo at 18, 19, 18 or 19? 19. 19, I'm getting old, y'all. I was 19, I had just transferred to Morgan, and I tried to commit suicide a couple weeks before I found out I was pregnant. I was done, I was tired. And I found out I was pregnant. And Indigo was the 4th baby that I had been pregnant with over the course of that last year. And I called her father and I said, I'm having a baby. He said, well, pregnant again? Goddamn, we can't have no kids. Like, what was you? I said, no, you didn't hear me. I'm having a baby. That's it. And I hung up. And I had a reason to be alive now. I had a reason to grind. I had a reason to be somebody. Because I was responsible for a life. And I had never been responsible for a life in a matter of, like, my brothers, like, they got my mom, you know, they got a dad. So if, like, some shit go down, if I die, something like that, they got somebody. She ain't asked to be here. I spent the last, my baby will be 20, I spent the last 20 years, y'all, trying to create the kind of life for my children that I wanted for myself. And within that, parents, you will find yourselves overly compensating. You will find yourselves beating yourself up. You will find yourselves sacrificing your happiness because you want to fight so hard to give them what you didn't have. Stop and ask them if that's really what the fuck they want. Our vision for our children sometimes comes out of us living vicariously through them. We want to create situations for them because we didn't have it, and the whole time all they want is you. All they want is the conversation, and they want to process, and they want to know that you support them. And you look back and you realize that you have made all these plans for their life, and that ain't even who they are or what they want. I'm sorry that I did that to you. I'm so sorry. You are not a failure. You are not a quitter. You just want different. And if at 20, you can make the decision on what you want to do with your life and not have to make that decision because you have somebody to feed and whose entire existence depends on you, baby, do it. And I support you. I'm sorry that I made you feel less than. It's okay. Love you.
We appreciate you, Mo. So you had mentioned that when you were an assistant principal at that school, that you was rubbing shoulders with, some of the who's in Baltimore City. So I guess, as you know, as building leads and PSAs were in the schools consistently, we're interacting with principals and people of that nature who hold such high status. And my question is, what advice you would give to the PSAs and the individuals who are in these schools as far as networking and how to build good relationships within the schools so that they can elevate themselves in the organization as well.
Start to think about what it is you want. And what I mean by that is, Dr. Rabowski says to us the other day, you need to have an elevated pitch for your life. Like, not just the company and the work you do, you need an elevated pitch for your life. Who are you? Right? And being able to tell a person who you are in a short amount of time. So I would say prepare yourself with what it is you do as a PSA. We should all be equipped with that information. We should know what we do as a PSA. You should know what Concentric does. Introduce yourself by first and last name. Get contact information and actually make contact. Me and Olivia work on this. Olivia is like the networking guru now. She's like, no, what do I say? I just met so-and-so, what should I say? Right? You get that contact information, shoot a quick email within the next hour. Hey, I just met you at, keep yourself on that person's mind. I just met you at the event in such and such place. It was nice to meet you. I hope we can connect soon. Have coffee. Have lunch. Have a phone call. You don't really know how you and a person can collaborate until you kind of get to know them more. But you develop relationships with people, and then when it comes to, oh, I have to plan an event, I know an event planner. Oh, I need to get transportation for a field trip. I just met the dude that knows the transportation owner. You start to connect, and you eventually become a plug. But it comes from having conversations with people and allowing them to get to know you and staying in contact. But then it also comes with having a good reputation too. because people will ask about you. So I have a mantra, and this mantra helped me to navigate city schools. You never know when you're gonna see somebody again. So that one time you were rude in a restaurant to the waiter, they might be the one to give the surgeon the tools during your surgery in the hospital. And you were rude. You just never know when you're gonna see somebody again. So you treat everyone with kindness and love and consideration, no matter who they are, no matter what position they hold. Because you're gonna see them again. Yeah. We'll take one more question before we transition on.
So you spoke about how, being a strong Black woman, it can get tiring sometimes. My question is kind of about, sometimes as a Black woman, when you're passionate about something and you're really driven, people take that as a threat and it can be jarring. So how are you able to navigate the professional space and not be a threat? Because for me, it's like, I go places and I make myself small, right? Because I don't want anybody to be like, oh, she's, the loud Black girl. So how did you navigate that to get to where you are now as a young Black woman to be, at that status?
That's the perfect question for you. Thank you. Raise your hand if you heard the term angry Black woman. Okay. Raise your hand if you ever said in your mind, that bitch crazy. I should remember them. Okay. You're right. Assertiveness, firmness is always taken as, oh, she's an angry Black woman. It's perfect that you asked this question because today I'm actually facilitating a session on emotional intelligence. My mouth, had I not learned to bridle my tongue, would have talked me out of every opportunity I ever was given in my life. My mouth. You can come across as firm and assertive without being an angry Black woman. And with that comes the understanding that you may be taken as that. And so what? But we also have to own the fact that sometimes we are the angry Black woman. And we have to work on that. So being aware of how someone else is going to receive your use of language, your tone of voice, your body language, takes intentionality and practice. And so it's a kind of mashup of social awareness, but also self-management and self-regulation and acknowledging and identifying. They talked about metacognition, right? Think about your thinking. I'm triggered right now, and I may lash out. Let me breathe for a couple minutes. Breathe for a couple seconds. Let me tell that person, I'm gonna get back to you. Can you give me a moment? And being able to step away. All conversations don't need to be had when a person wants to have a conversation with you. If you are not emotionally available for it, you need to say that I am not emotionally available for this conversation right now. And ask for forgiveness. And say that you need a moment. It's not okay to lash out and have attitude all the time, right? But then also, be able to, if you need to, give them an angry Black woman to come back and talk about it. Because sometimes you do need to be that person, especially in this space. But you can do it respectfully. You can do it without cursing. You can do it without raising your voice. I have cut some people down with my words and never raised my voice, never cursed, got my point across, and walked away. And it was like, did she just takes practice? I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Dr. Boney was talking about standing in front of mirrors to reflect. I stand in front of mirrors to practice sometimes. Y'all saw Insecure? I be in the mirror like, this bitch is right? And then I come to work and I be like, you really upset me when you said, practice, use that affective language. It shifts the energy. Right? So, I practice with you. Definitely. Family, it has been a pleasure spending time and opening up my heart to you. this has been a journey, and I have to thank David and our admin team because I came to Concentric when my life was in shambles. Y'all didn't know. My life was in shambles. And I did the unhealthy thing and poured all my energy into Concentric and not on fixing myself because it was a distractor. And God forced me to fix myself anyway. So I want you to take a look around this room. You guys are my family. We are each other's family. And I want to openly thank all of you for the hugs that you give me, for the smiles, for the checking in, for the text messages I get from Saquon every week. Say I love you. Say pours into me like no other on a regular basis. I get my private, y'all get the message on the email, I get my private text messages once I get it. But I thank you for journeying with me, and I want to say that you all have made this the absolute best place to ever work, and I never, ever, 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 ever feel like I don't want to get up and come to serve you. I wake up every day excited, coming to serve you. So thank you. We're going to take this to the next level, and we're going to do it together. I love you.
Good morning, everybody. Garrett said it right. This is a mic drop. I mean, we could actually end this conference and this summit right now. This is obviously just a small token of our appreciation, though. You're not a friend, not a sister, like what? You don't know how much you cried together. And just lean on each other, particularly over this past year. And you know, I started the summit saying that in 3 years, Joe would be the CEO. People may be wondering, well, how come not me? Because you're so much bigger than this company. This is just a holy space. I appreciate it.
I told you I was next. I'm sorry. So we are gonna take a break. You guys are gonna.
I knew nothing about what was going on here. This whole summit is going to, it's all.
I'm gonna take all the credit, y'all, because the cluster beats helped them too. Y'all need to get it done. And shout out to Tiffany, event planner. Oh, hi, behind the speaker. Y'all, I know we gotta go to break, but okay, wait, let me go through the day and then I'm gonna give my baby her flowers too. I know Brittany probably went through it, but we're gonna start breakout sessions at 8:40. Oh, we're a little bit behind. So my folks that are leading the 8:45 breakout session, one of them is gonna be in here. For all PSAs, if you are a Bills and Lead, you're gonna go to Magnolia A. There is a 15-minute unaccounted for block in the schedule. So what we're gonna do is we can actually shift because we have some time. So we're gonna do our breakouts from 9 to 10:30, and then we'll have a break from 10:30 to 10:45. Are my facilitators in here or they left already? Okay, so you guys got that? So we'll take a 15-minute break now. You'll be in your breakout sessions, y'all, at 9 o'clock. So out of this room, if you're a Bills and Lead, a PSA, and then our Bills and Lead PSAs will be over to my right. We'll come back here at 10:45 for the Leadership Compass activity, okay? And then we have lunch, and Dr. Statham will be with us. So, Tiffany, event planner. Tiffany was my secretary when I was principal, y'all. I hired her on Sunday before Labor Day because my secretary quit Thursday before school started, and then we come back on Tuesday, I ain't have no secretary. Hi, Tiffany. We registered 160 kids in like a week. We had no family day, everything, right? She was my assistant principal, my de facto principal. When I was not there, she ran the building. Kept it all the way together. What I didn't know is that she was a weapon planner. for like a year, and I saw her like in a magazine or some shit she was published, and I was like, oh, okay, that's who you are. That's why you leave here, you know, all high heels and stuff, whatever. Tiff has held it together, but she not only has held it together for me professionally, she holds it together for me personally. And what you see, all the logistics, and all of the stuff moving, and that's all her. So that's, I just want to. And her birthday is Friday, and she decided to still do our grand opening for us. So I'm saying her birthday is Friday. And y'all know how David tell y'all take care of the principals, so y'all better make sure y'all take care of Tiff on Friday. It's her birthday. So we're gonna break out some now, be in your rooms and your seats before 9 o'clock, please. See y'all later.